Good morning. This is Friday, June 30th, the meeting of the Los Angeles City Council. It is 10 o'clock. Thank you, Mr. Padilla, Ms. Perry, and Mr. Wesson for being here on time this morning. I'd ask Mr. Cardenas, Ms. Hahn, Mr. Wiesart, Mr. Parks, Mr. Reyes, Mr. Smith, and Mr. Weiss to please make them their way down to the City Council chambers so we can begin our meeting this morning. Again, thank you to Mr. Padilla, Ms. Perry, and Mr. Wesson. We will begin our meeting shortly. Thank you. morning again. Thank you to Mr. Padilla, Mr. Parks, Ms. Perry, Mr. Weiss, and Mr. Wesson. I'm Councilmember Wendy Gruhl. Welcome to City Hall. This is a meeting of the City of Los Angeles City Council, and today is June 30th, 2006. We meet 3 times per week, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and all meetings are open to the public. We are going to go ahead and begin with our presentations. However, I will again ask Mr. Cardenas, Ms. Hahn, Mr. Wiesart, Mr. Reyes, Mr. Smith to please make their way down to City Council chambers. Colleagues, we do have only 11 members present today, so I would ask that we ask individuals to come down. We do have some members excused to leave a little bit early. So if I could have a quiet in the council chambers, shh, and ask Ms. Perry for her first presentation.
Madam President, I am very honored to be joined here this morning by Captain Sean Kane. Captain Kane has served as an able and great leader at the Newton Community Police Station. He has always been available to assist and participate and reach out to the community and help those in need. He has been a very active captain, a hands-on captain in Newton, who has been supportive and readily available for his officers and to help our office and help the community when we called on behalf of the constituents. Under his leadership, Newton has grown and continues to be a viable and important stakeholder in our community. And I'm happy that Captain Kane has been promoted and that he's not leaving our city family. And while I'm very sad to see him leave the 9th Council District, I wanted to take this opportunity to wish him all the best in his new role within the Los Angeles Police Department. He has left behind very big shoes to fill. And I want to say thank you publicly to Captain Kane for his commitment to the people in Newton and the people of the 9th Council District, and to say again how much we appreciate what he has done for all of us.
Thank you very much. Great city, great department. More to come.
Thank you very much. That's right.
Okay. If it's okay.
Yes, please.
I'll keep going. I've got, okay, great. Okay. Mr. Parks, you may want to join me on this. The UMA Community Clinic. Come over here. Hi, how are you? Come on over here. Here, yeah, here. Yeah. Come on over here. I was thinking, where are you going? This is for you. Hello, how are you? The reason I asked Mr. Parks to join us is because the UMA Community Clinic serves both of our districts and helps so many people in South Los Angeles. The representatives from the UMA Community Clinic and the Latino Children's 5 a Day campaign are here today to commemorate their great partnership and their commitment to the families of our communities. The University Muslim Medical Association is one of the first community health centers in the United States, founded by the Muslim American community to serve the medically underserved folks or people in Los Angeles. The UMA Community Clinic has provided services to at least 15,000 clients at the site since its founding, regardless of the client's ability to pay. 90% of the clients provided health services by UMA live within a 3-mile radius of the facility. UMA has increased their pool of volunteers and staff physicians, increased square footage, and made improvements on the city facility in which they are housed to better improve the service of the facility to the community. These improvements allowed UMA to increase the number of clients they serve from 1,000 to over 15,000 residents over the course of the last 10 years. Operational costs for the health services provided by UMA are not obtained through donations, grants, and third-party payers from the County of Los Angeles, Department of Health Services, State of California, I'm sorry, they are obtained. That's very important. Sorry about that. Thank you to the state of California very much. Kaiser Permanente, California Endowment, California Wellness Foundation, and of course the Muslim community of Los Angeles and Greater Los Angeles. The clinic was established, or has established, a partnership with the Regional Latino and Children's 5-A-Day campaign led by the Public Health Institute in cooperation with the University of California Cooperative Extension to bring nutrition education resources to the community that they serve. So today I wanted to recognize the UMA Community Clinic and its partnership with the Regional Latino and Children's 5-A-Day in our community, commend them for continuing to provide quality care, education to those they treat, and thank them for working to motivate and empower our community to promote environmental changes that make healthy eating easily and socially acceptable. And I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate them on their upcoming 10-year anniversary of providing excellent service to our community. Mr. Parks.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Perry, for allowing me to join you. I just want to commend them on their 10 years, and also there's nothing more important in poor communities than providing education, and particularly education about health needs. And so I would prefer to allow the next 3 minutes for them to give us an overview of what they're doing in the community. So let me ask the speakers to come up. Doctor?
You can introduce the group if you'd like. The names are here.
Thank you, Honorable Congresswoman, Councilwoman, future Congresswoman.
I like doing what I'm doing.
Thank you, Honorable Councilwoman Jan Perry and Councilman Bernard Parks. Before I begin, I just want to recognize my fellow board members and some of our staff who are here with us today, who would not, if not for their hard work, this would not be possible. First of all, I'd like to start on this side. Paul Wong, Leslie Ravestein, our extraordinary CEO, Mr. Yasser Aman, our just as extraordinary Community Development Director, Sharif Rosen, and my daughter, Mariam. Thank you. Thank you, distinguished members of Los Angeles City Council, for this distinguished honor and recognition for the Ummah Community Clinic. Councilwoman Perry went through some of the growth that we've experienced in the last 10 years. I just wanted to give you a brief snapshot. It's really hard to believe that 10 years have passed so quickly. In those 10 years, the clinic has grown from a very small, student-based, free clinic open a few half days a week to a full-fledged community health center that has become an integral part of the safety net of community clinics in Los Angeles, helping care for the more than 3 million underserved, uninsured Angelenos that live among us. In that time, we started with a very meager 2 paid staff and a budget of $150,000. And I'm proud to report to you today, we're blessed with a staff of over 15, a full-time management staff, and a budget that now is topping $1.3 million in 2006. Thank you. At a time when many clinics are scaling back services or even being forced to close their doors, I'm proud to report that the Ummah Clinic is experiencing a 20% growth in 2006, with more patients being seen this year. In 2005, we took an extraordinary step forward by achieving the status of a look-alike federally qualified health center, thus giving us greater financial sustainability in the years to come. As part of that, we also brought on a brand new consumer board of directors, or majority consumer board of directors in 2005, thus giving the very patients that we serve a voice in the governance of our organization. So, in closing, I just wanted to tell you just a really small, quick snapshot of the story of Ummah, because I think that's really, the growth and the numbers are impressive, but the story is one of our most compelling and unique parts of our history, and it's a story that you don't hear that often. We started as a handful of idealistic Muslim students at UCLA who were just armed with a desire to put their Islamic faith in action. And as Councilwoman Perry mentioned, we're the first of its kind clinic started in the United States by Muslim Americans to help address the plight of America's impoverished. And I'm happy to report today that numerous other Muslim communities throughout the United States have taken on this challenge, and up to about 14 such clinics have started since 1996. But we were idealistic students. We didn't have much in our hands. We just had an idea on paper. It was the city of Los Angeles, under then Councilwoman Rita Walters, that gave this idea an actual opportunity. And now, as the torch has been passed on to Councilwoman Perry, to Councilman Parks, the Ummah Clinic has flourished and grown thanks to their years of long-term commitment and generous support. I'm here today as really a representative of my fellow board members, our hardworking staff, and most of all, the constituents of the 9th District of the City of Los Angeles and the 8th District of the City of Los Angeles,
I got it, you got it.
who are really the beneficiaries of our services. And on behalf of those residents, those single moms, those elderly patients who need their hypertensive medications, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your years of support, dedication, and we look forward to 10 more years of serving the residents of Los Angeles, and we're eagerly awaiting the transferring of the deed of the conveyance of the property, and we thank you and your hardworking staff for actually bringing that motion on and working towards that. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you
God
very
bless.
much.
Before I conclude, we have a couple other members who have joined, or one more, Li'i Furumoto as a board member. And I forgot to acknowledge just a couple members of Councilwoman Perry's staff, Rosanna Wadala and Mary Rumsey, who have been very instrumental in Rosanna Wadala and Mary Rumsey for all of their hard work and support in support of Ummah. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Perry. Ms. Perry, do you have one more presentation? Our next presenter after Ms. Perry will be Mr. Wesson.
I'm gonna be in the back. Okay, the next group in my final presentation is the Skid Row Neighborhood Watch Walk Group. How are you? Take your tag off. Hey, come on up, you guys. Come close, come close. Come close, come close. How are you? This is a special opportunity. Another anniversary. The one-year anniversary of the Skid Row Neighborhood Watch Walk, which was started in July 2005 by the Central City East Association to bring hope to residents and stakeholders in Central City East. The partnership was formed with the Midnight Mission, the Los Angeles Police Department, the Los Angeles Homeless Services, and a commitment was made to walk the streets each month to call attention to the unimaginable conditions of life on Skid Row. The walks have attracted wide support. Hundreds of new downtown residents, downtown employees, social service providers, elected and appointed officials. Many Los Angeles City Council members have participated in this walk in its first year. The Skid Row Neighborhood Watch Walk brought the story of Skid Row into sharper focus and provided the context for the intensive media coverage this past year on the abuses of our most fragile residents, mentally and physically abused individuals being dumped and allowed to fend for themselves amidst the chaos of the Skid Row area on the streets. Midway through the year, Central City East Association requested the assistance of the Emergency Response Team, ERT, of the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, LAHSA. And ERT members on foot and in vans began accompanying the walk, offering immediate transportation to shelter and medical treatment for anyone on Skid Row willing to accept their assistance. As a result of the Skid Row Neighborhood Watch Walk and the involvement of the LAHSA Emergency Response Team, 103 individuals and 28 families have been assisted in getting off the streets of Skid Row. This includes single mothers with children, married couple with 6 children, individuals with mental and physical disabilities. The monthly walks continue on the first Wednesday of every month, and officers from the central area of the Los Angeles Police Department take part in each walk and take the opportunity to reach out and interact with residents of Central City East, both sheltered and unsheltered. I want to give a very, very, very special thanks to the LASA outreach workers who do such important work, and they do it without any hesitation. They are tireless, they are compassionate, and they are persistent, and they're tenacious in their desire to help people get off the street and come in for help. And I want to give, first and foremost, a very special hand to all of them. And then I also want to thank all of our partners, Captain Wakefield, Officer McEnany, and all the other officers, and Estella Lopez, Executive Director of the Central City East Association Business Improvement District, Orlando Ward from Midnight Mission. Did I miss anybody? I got everybody? Okay, I got everybody. All of these, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are even more people who do this every single month. But they are all tremendous partners who come together once a month to make these walks a reality and to pursue our mission and passion to help people to reclaim their lives, empower this community, and empower the individuals in it to create lasting change. Thank you, and I think, Estella, would you like to say a few words? Yes. All right.
Councilwoman Perry and council members, thank you very, very much for this honor and this recognition on behalf of all of the partners that have made the Skid Row Walk a monthly occurrence for the last year. The folks you see here gathered are just, as Councilwoman Perry said, the tip of the iceberg of the people, the true heroes of Skid Row, who every day risk their health and sometimes their lives to help the folks in the Central City East area. What you don't see today are the victims, and the victims are a much broader group than you can believe. They are not only the people that you see living and dying on the sidewalks, but they are also the police officers who, again, risk their lives to help these people. The LASA volunteers, the other outreach workers, the people in the social service agencies who are working tirelessly to help this community. But it also includes the business community, the employers and the employees who face almost insurmountable odds to keep Central City East a part of the vibrant Los Angeles economy. Please don't forget any of us. We need your help, we need your attention, we need your respect. Thank you very much.
Folks from ERT are shy, but let me tell you, they're not shy when we get out there in the street and try to help people, and that's where it really matters. And I also want to recognize another one of our officers here from Central City East. We like to call him Officer Dion, but I have to say this, that the officers who choose this detail, they do so as a proactive choice because it's something personal to them. It's much more than just doing a job. It's very, very personal, and they have a deep, deep, deep commitment to serving on this detail. So I want to thank all of them for being here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Perry, and to thank...
And first Wednesday of each month, please feel free to join us. We leave in front of the Midnight Mission at 6 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We've joined you before with the officers, and so thank you very much for your efforts. Our next presentation is by Councilmember Wesson. Mr. Wesson, would you hold on 1 minute for us? We have a special presentation that just arrived. I'd like to acknowledge the Mayor of the City of Los Angeles, Antonio Villaraigosa, Councilmember Jose Huizar, and our Governor Zacatecas.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, public. I'm really proud to stand here today with a very accomplished dignitary, the Honorable Governor of the Mexican state of Zacatecas, Amalia Garcia Medina. As many of you know, I was born in Zacatecas, Mexico, and I'm honored to be here with my governor from Zacatecas, but what I really am proud of today is that she has such an accomplished history in supporting women's rights, human rights, and working hard to cease and end the corruption in politics. She has a passion for public service. She's really working hard to make Zacatecas one of the safest cities in Mexico, and in fact, it has the second lowest crime rate in Mexico. She is a founder of the Democratic Revolutionary Party, which is known as the PRD, and she has had a number of accomplishments in her career. In 1979, she began her association with feminist organizations and the fight for gender equality. During this period, she promoted agreements among legislators to protect victims of sexual harassment, as well as the rights of rape victims at the hands of members of the federal police. Later in her career, she also pressed for laws against domestic violence and pro-choice for women. In 2003, she was elected federal deputy and helped pass legislation to ensure fair representation of migrants and women in Congress. And like myself, she has a passion for education, working to extend the University of Zacatecas campuses throughout Zacatecas, and there's one in the works in my hometown of Jerez, Zacatecas, that I'm very proud of. So, it's really my pleasure to invite her and welcome her to the city of Los Angeles, where we have over 400,000 Zacatecanos living here in Los Angeles. As you can see, the importance of developing relationships between the city of Los Angeles and the state of Zacatecas is important, not only for the cultural benefits that come with that, but also the economic benefits and the understanding and dialogue that is necessary in this day and age when immigration reform is at the top of the agenda of this nation. So I'm proud to be here with Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa to welcome the governor, and next I'd like to introduce our Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa.
It's always great to come to the chambers of the City Council. Thank you for allowing me to be here, and it is indeed an honor to accompany Councilmember Huizar and host today our governor from Zacatecas, Governor Garcia. When you think about the fact that she's the first governor, female, in Zacatecas history, one of the few governors ever, female governors ever to serve in a Mexican state. This is a trailblazer, a woman, as Councilmember Huizar said, who has stood up for civil rights and human rights, a woman who was the head of the National Party, and who has done a great deal to address the living conditions of Zacatecanos, the people who live in Zacatecas, and it's indeed an honor. We had a great meeting a few moments ago, and I can tell you I look forward to working with the governor on behalf of the city of Los Angeles and all of you to continue to develop efforts to promote trade, tourism, cultural and educational exchanges in the coming years. And so it's indeed an honor to welcome you to the city of Los Angeles. Muchas gracias.
And Mr. Huizar, we do have a couple council members that would like to make a brief comment. Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Madam President. Bienvenida, Gobernadora, a Los Angeles. Consulado Beltran, Mayor, welcome back to the chamber. And Councilman Huizar, your parents must feel really great right now when their son from Zacatecas is able to bring the governor of their homeland here in City Hall. I hope And I hope all the young people listening, watching, those that are here, understand that when you have our hometown heroes, our council members, our mayors, are able to have diplomatic relationships with another country that represents the culture and language of our fathers, it truly is a great day in Los Angeles. So gracias por venir, compartir este día con nosotros. Ojalá que podamos seguir adelante, mano a mano, en este mundo que es nuestra comunidad. Muchas gracias.
I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Cardenas.
De escuchar que usted es la primera gobernadora elegida en México, ¿verdad? La primera en toda la historia de México.
En Zacatecas.
¿En Zacatecas? ¿O
Y hoy la única mujer gobernadora en todo el
oh,
país.
sí, ¿no hay otras gobernadoras en México ahorita? Bueno, a todos modos me da mucho orgullo de ver que usted está avanzando a la comunidad de México, porque para mí es algo que nosotros tenemos que entender, que entre humanos todos somos iguales y las mujeres tienen mucho, mucho que contribuir a nuestra comunidad y a nuestros estados y al mundo. I just wanted to thank her very much for coming here and gracing us with her presence. I'm so very proud of her because she is the only standing woman governor right now in Mexico. And that's something that I would like to remind all of us, that as human beings, we need to understand that we all contribute, every single one of us, and that we are equals, and that women certainly have much, much to contribute, not only to our communities and our families, but to society and our states and to our entire world. My parents are from Mexico, so it really gives me goosebumps to be able to be part of this moment. As they came here, like 400,000 Zacatecanos are right here in the Los Angeles area. My parents are from Jalisco, which is right next door to Zacatecas. And if my parents were alive today, I would have brought them to City Hall, and they'd be standing right here, very proud of this moment, standing in line to take photos with you, just like I am in just a few minutes. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming to Los Angeles. Thank you for reminding us how important your people are to our community. They feed the people of California. They feed the people of the world, like my parents came here to work in the fields. They work in our hotels. They work also as engineers and in many, many capacities. And we have one wonderful human being who's proven that him, as a Zacatecano and a naturalized citizen of this country, is a council member contributing in that capacity as well. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Ms. Hahn.
Thank you, Madam President, and welcome to Los Angeles. I had the pleasure of meeting you earlier when Vicente Fox was here, and I will tell you, and Mayor, it's nice to have you here as well. What a beautiful day this is. But Jose Huizar, who sits next to me, is so proud of you and talks about you all the time and couldn't wait to introduce me to you previously. But what I love about you being the first or the woman governor of Zacatecas is the young women in Mexico, and particularly in Zacatecas, have something that the young women in California do not have. And that is a role model that every little girl growing up in your state knows that she one day can be governor of the state, Our little girls in California don't know that yet, but hopefully soon California will also have a woman governor, because that's an important thing for little girls to grow up knowing that they can accomplish. Congratulations, and very good to see you again.
Thank you, Ms. Hahn. I'd like to also send my congratulations as well. And as Ms. Hahn said, not yet in the state of California. Ms. Perry, Ms. Hahn, and myself, as the three women on the City Council, are anxious to have a woman governor here in the state of California. We have two senators, but next time a governor. But we're very pleased to have Jose Huizar on our City Council, and he is so proud of his home place and his the importance that plays in his life. And so we're pleased to have you here today and welcome you to our council chambers and welcome you to the city along with the mayor and Jose today. So it's now our opportunity to be able to hear from you. So welcome.
Muchas gracias. Quiero de verdad de manera muy sincera y con mucha emoción decir que agradezco la posibilidad de estar aquí presente, de estar en este concilio de Los Ángeles y además no solamente de reconocer la pluralidad, la actitud incluyente que existe aquí, sino que esté presente José Huizar, que es originario de Zacatecas. I'm really very glad to be here in this Council of Los Angeles. My English is not very good, but I do want to say that I'm really very, very honored to be here with you, because what I can see in Los Angeles is that you have a vision that is extraordinary, because everybody can feel included. Everybody feels member of this city, and especially when we saw Antonio Villaraigosa win government of the city as mayor. What we concluded in Mexico, and I say about myself, is that everybody can have the possibility to grow, to have the possibility to make things for others if you try very hard, if you love what you are doing, and if you work for the people. I really want to say that I'm really very honored to be this morning here, and we are countries, Mexico and the United States, who have to share so much things. We have a common present and a common future. And I would say with all respect that I do not like walls to separate us, but I love the possibility to be near, because we have so much to share. We can speak about globalization, but also in the world there are regions, and we are part of a region, the Northern Hemisphere. And I do believe that we have many things to do so that we can create conditions for development of the people, especially those who are in a condition that is not a good condition. We must protect the rights of everybody, civil rights, the right to learn, to study, the right to have health assured, the right to be respected. Nevertheless, I would say that for me it's an honor to be here, especially because there are so many friends. And with Antonio Villaraigosa, with Jose Huizar, with all of you, I feel very near. And as we say in Zacatecas, we are a binational state, because 50%, half of the people of Zacatecas is in Zacatecas, and the other 50% is in the United States. So we have not only a culture to share, but a common aim, the well-being of all the people here and in Mexico, in Zacatecas. I want to thank you for the possibility to be here, and I want only to say something. We must strengthen our ties, our links, because we must work for a common future that is for those who have less. And as we say in Zacatecas, the design of Zacatecas, nuestro lema is el trabajo todo lo vence. Work overcomes everything. And I am sure that with work we can overcome everything. Thank you very much.
Gobernadora, de parte de la Ciudad de Los Ángeles, Governor, on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, the City Council, the Mayor of the City of Los Angeles, we welcome you. We look forward to our communication, our dialogue, and creating those links that are needed. Thank you so much for being here this morning, and we look forward to our continued cooperation. And here's a recognition on behalf of your achievements and the future relationships we intend to build with the City of Los Angeles, Zacatecas. Thank you so much.
I'd like to now acknowledge Mr. Wesson for his presentation.
On the center table.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, before we go, we'd like to take a picture of the whole council with the governor.
No, that's like, yeah, it is.
As we wait for our next presentation, for those reporters that are here to cover the press conference, it will be in the back of the council chambers. And we acknowledge the wonderful council member from the 10th District, Councilmember Herb Wesson.
See you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you, Madam President and members. And I want you to know that I'm just so pleased that I was in council today to hear the announcement that Wendy Gruhl and Janice Hahn are running for governor. I'm just glad that I was present. You know, education is the talk of our town. There are some of us that believe changes need to be made in our education system, and there are others who believe that it's getting better and maybe changes shouldn't occur. But the one thing that is crystal clear is that when you're good, you're good. And it's my pleasure to present to you one of the best, if not the best, high school on the planet that just happens to be in my district. We call it LACES, but it's Los Angeles Center for Enriched Studies. I'm joined today by Dr. Margaret Kim, who is the principal, by Joseph Zell, who is the assistant principal, by Mary London, who is the college counselor, and I'm joined today, Ms. Hahn, by the president of the senior class, Ariel Anson, who might take you on in this governor's. She is she's going to be attending UC Irvine, and she's going to be a political science major. I don't have a clue. I couldn't even begin to guess how many high schools we have in the state. I don't know how many high schools we have in the country. A gazillion, I would guess. How proud would you be to have a school in your district that was ranked number 45th in this nation? And that's LACES, the individuals that are standing behind me. Newsweek magazine, that's where they were listed. But you know what? It's no big deal for them, because they've been in Newsweek with some regularity. Look what I have here. In 1998, out of all of the high schools in this country, they were ranked 47th. In 2000, out of all of the high schools in this country, they were ranked 45th. In 2003, they were ranked in the top 10 high schools in the United States of America. Give them a round of applause. And with our great new principal, we're going to get back into the top 10. They have over 80%, well, no, out of their graduating class, over 80% will be going to four-year schools. From the year 2000 to the present, they have had the highest daily average attendance. Currently, LACE's Academic Performance Index score is the highest in the LAUSD system, and that's in the secondary schools, whatever that means. It's 822. Nobody would have known. We could have just rolled with it. In March, I forgot I have a principal, so she's going to be right. Okay, let's rewind this and edit that part. In 1992 and in 1996, they received the California's Distinguished School Award. Again, they've been mentioned. They have received several mentions, and they were in 1988. The Los Angeles Magazine rated them as one of the top 10 schools in Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the principal to say a few words, Dr. Margaret Kim, who may be running for governor also.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. It is my honor to be here, to be recognized as the principal of LACES Magnet. It certainly is an honor to represent such a wonderful school community. We have the most dedicated group of staff members at LACES. Teachers are wonderful, our support staff and the leadership excellent, and also our parent participation is just outstanding. And, you know, they all represent LACES, not just myself as the principal, and of course our pride and joy. Our students are wonderful, just like any other schools in Los Angeles Unified School District. But what we do is we have our motto as pursuit for excellence. And we have very high expectations for our students. And our graduation requirements are equal to UC and CSU admissions requirements. And I must tell you at this point that we have had 100% graduation rate this year for class of 2006. And which means that every single graduating student actually had the opportunity to go to four-year university if they wanted to. So it was their choice. And I take this recognition.
Keep going.
Oh, I'm sorry, my time's up.
You're fine. Keep going.
Okay.
Please finish.
Everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
As the encouragement to continue this wonderful process of educating and training our future leaders of America. And also, I'd like to introduce you. I brought a few of my staff members and a student. I wish I had brought more because I'm so proud of being the leader of this particular institution. I do have the assistant principal, Mr. Zell, who will share maybe a few words, and our college counselor, Ms. Mary Jane London, and Ariel Ensign. It is my pride and joy to introduce my staff members at this point.
I'd like to thank you for this award. I'm the college counselor and the advanced placement coordinator. And one thing I must say is that LACES is an LA Unified school. And we're giving every public student, every student in LA Unified the opportunity to attend college. Our school, we have 100% of our graduating students attending a university or a college after they graduate our high school. There isn't a single student who leaves our school who won't be attending college in the fall. And so I hope the same thing can take place in every LA Unified school. LACES has a great track record, and we have a great staff and wonderful supporting parents, and I'd just like to thank you for being a part of this.
Hi, my name is Ariel Anson, and I have attended LACES for 7 years. I just want to let everyone know what a wonderful school LACES truly is. I've been so honored to have attended. It's done so much for me, and I hope only to go back and do for the school. Because of LACES, I am truly ready for college, and I can't wait to start in September. So I just wanted to not only thank you for honoring us, but I wanted to thank my school for doing so much for me. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Zell. I'm assistant principal. I handle a lot of the activities, and I've been so fortunate this year to have this man right here who has done so much for us. He's been generous. He provided a stage for the first of hopefully many more 8th grade culminations. We're actually a span school from grades 6 through 12. So that's why it's a real family, and our students stay there for 7 years. The vast majority of them are there for 7 years. And we, this year, finally had an 8th grade culmination, which we're going to repeat from now on. Everyone is so excited about it. Councilman Wesson was generous enough to provide the stage for that. It was all delivered and set up for us. We really appreciate that. We also had the pleasure and the honor of being asked to provide our jazz band to go to the little party reception that the city had for the new Department of Transportation director, and we were very, very pleased to send over some of our students who just on short notice knew their stuff. They put on a beautiful show, and it was very, very impressive, and we were more than happy to provide that opportunity to serve our city. We want to thank Herb Weston and his outstanding aide, Lisa Coleman, also. She's over here on the side. She does all the groundwork, and we really, really love her. Thank you very much, Councilman Weston.
Thank you. And now I'd like to, you guys talk so great about the school, you make me want to go to high school again. Not. Anyway, I want to present you, oh, my niece graduated from Laces, and she's now in San Francisco State. So let's do it this way. Anyway, thank you, Madam President. We'll do it like this.
Thank you, Mr. Weston, and congratulations to LASIK. Our next presentation will be from Councilmember Ed Reyes.
Joanna Thomas. She graduated last year.
I'll ask Councilman Weston if he doesn't mind staying.
Oh, you want me to stay?
If you like, yes, of course. I'd like to invite the Aztec Fire Crew to come on up. Come on up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's feel your presence.
You can all stand, yes.
Whoa.
You can stand up, walk in the aisleway here. Come on up.
They look good.
You want everybody here? Yeah, just come on. Okay. And then we'll walk forward. Yeah, Albina told me like. No, let's come on up. And I'm changing a little bit of the process here. Thank you, Albina. Council members, June and July is about graduations. It's graduation season. But today, we have graduates of a different kind. Today, we're here to welcome the graduates of the Aztec Fire Fuse Crew Program. Let's give them a round of applause, folks. And colleagues, this is a special graduation because this is one element, one part of a program that begins to connect how we offer our young people choices. Many of our young folks do not have access to jobs. They have fallen through the cracks in our education system. Some of them get sucked into the subculture of our gangs. But with this program, we provide an option. We show them a way out. We make them aware that the lifestyle that connects drugs with violence, with deterioration of our communities, that life does not have to be that way. That we have an opportunity to show them that through hard work ethic, development of skills, and real participation and real job and contribution to our society is a way out of that downward spiral. This year's graduating class consists of 75 junior Aztecs and 25 Aztecs. The junior Aztecs have participated in a number of community services, including beautification programs, cleanups, and some brush clearance. The Aztecs have completed more than 80 hours of fire service and other training. They recently completed part of their training at Camp Pendleton. The Aztecs are now ready to be activated for duty throughout the state. The Aztec Fire Fuse Crew programs has been around for more than 10 years, since 1994. During that time, well over 500 men and women have graduated from this program. Of those, 45% of them have gone on to some type of employment with various fire departments throughout the state and the region. When we talk about gang intervention, it's not just about using the heavy hand. It's not just about policing, but also offering these types of programs, and the Aztec Fire Crew program is about saving our youth. But I want to recognize our Chief Fire Training Officer, James Hall. Sir.
Thank you for having us today, and thank you for supporting this program, which has been in place for well over 10 years. And all you folks back behind me, I can't see all you. Congratulations.
And
Thank you, Chief Hall.
Mr. Reyes, we do have Ms. Perry who'd like to say a few words. Can before you introduce the
Yes,
rest
and
of
then I'll be
our
asking
council
our
guys.
council member
Oh, I'm sorry,
as well.
Mr. Wesson. And we'll go to Ms. Perry.
Thank you, Madam President, for recognizing me. You know, it's not about giving people a handout. And sometimes it's not about giving people a hand up. It's about giving people a hand. It's about giving people an opportunity to change. It's about giving people a view that they can see tomorrow and that they can see themselves as productive human beings. And that's what this program does. And I ask you to again applaud all of the Aztecs. And it also takes young people that have a dream that they can live a life that's full of joy and happiness. And it takes courage for a lot of the young people behind me to choose this way, to choose the right way. And I'm honored to stand here at this moment with Ed Reyes to say to you, if I had a hat on, I'd take it off. God bless you all.
Councilmember Perry, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I just want to say, all of you, the graduates, you are role models to the people who are younger than you from your respective communities. And I heard this yesterday at a graduation. The best example is being a good example, and you already are. You've already crossed that threshold, and I want to add my congratulations too.
Thank you, Councilmember Perry. Next, I'd like to call up Enrique Hurtado, but just indulge me a moment, please. When I ask Enrique to come on up, this is a person who, together with his team, his management team, when we have hotspots, when we have violence, when we have issues coming up, when we have a killing, it is Enrique and his team who goes into these neighborhoods without a bulletproof vest, without a gun. They go in there and they speak to the individuals as human beings. And that's the type of courage, that's the type of spirit that the leadership of the Aztec Fire Crew has been showing to the city of Los Angeles. Enrique, please come on up.
Well, thank you, Mr. Councilman Reyes, Herb Wilson, Jen Perry, Jose Wizard, Eric Garcetti. I know he's not here, but we also provide services in his council district. We are part of the Bridges family. So our program is under gang intervention and with a little twist. We do have a training program getting kids an opportunity and young adults to learn some type of trade, learn how to become responsible, and land those jobs. And of course, we do any other referrals. We get them into, the immediate referrals that we need, issues if they have. And at the end, we would like to see a productive member, a responsible person, and to keep contributing to the family and to the city of Los Angeles. The Junior Aztecs behind me have had numerous hours of community service. The Aztecs attend to many community cleanups, parades, events. I would like to recognize, and I'm just going to say his name, Will, and the leadership of the Aztecs this year. Let's give him a hand. And these guys, Israel, Urieta, and Damien have kind of also taken the leadership and helping me with this program. And also, most of all, my great staff. I couldn't do it without them. They're out Saturdays, late nights. Thank you, guys. The the fire department is also working very close with us, helping us, being role models to our Aztec program and to our junior Aztec program. Chief it's Mark Jones, I always confuse him with Chief Storms also. And thank you, Los Angeles Fire Department. The United States Forest Service providing those opportunities to go fight those wildfires. And I always tell my guys, if you want to live your life dangerously, join the Forest Service and go fight fires. but be productive at it. I would like to Mark Jones to say a few words, and then I'm going to have a couple of the junior Aztecs that would like to say something.
Good morning, members of the City Council. Mark Jones, LA City Fire Department. I supervise the brush clearance unit. It's really an honor and a privilege to represent the Los Angeles Fire Department here to participate with the Aztec Fire Crew program. For the City of Los Angeles, it serves two purposes. On the one phase, it allows us, or they assist us in clearing the brush up in the wildland-urban interface, which mitigates the brush fire hazards. But probably more importantly, it allows the folks, the young members of the Aztec fire crews, to be exposed to the members of our great fire department, Los Angeles City Fire Department, with the hopes of some of these folks becoming members of our organization later on down, just to see what's required and how to become a firefighter. So it actually serves us two ways. So I'm hoping in the near future we see a few of these members of the Aztec fire crews on the LA City Fire Department, part of our department. Thank you.
I would like to call Oscar Escobedo and Liliana Culebro.
Hi. The program helped me stay out of trouble, and it made me realize what I could do in life. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, this program kept me out of trouble too. Like back then when I was like young, I used to get in trouble a lot, but now like since I joined the program, it showed me that I could do better with my life, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And now it's a female firefighter with the Aztec Fire Crew, Jessica Estrada, and also Patrick Miramontes.
Good morning, council members, family members, supporters, and of course, my Aztec family. I come before you today not as Jessica Estrada, but as an Aztec member of the Fire Crew 63. Thank you for this opportunity and honor to be here in front of all you, showing us that we can do it. We are Aztecs Rising, and we will make it.
Good morning, Councilman, Mayor, and everybody. My name is Patrick Miramontes. I've been given this great opportunity to stand before you all to tell you a bit about myself. I've been giving love from everyone here, from my crew, everyone, and if it hadn't been for everyone here, I would not be in this situation right here, now standing before you, a man and a firefighter. Wow. Thank you.
Again, let's thank Enrique Hurtado, his team, the Aztec family, colleagues. Thank you for your support. Every time we vote to fund for our youth, every time we support our fire department, every time we ask our directors, how many young people did you hire through your contracts? This is what you're going to produce: success, hope, optimism, and a sense of self-esteem. Thank you very much. And everyone will receive a certificate like this. We'll go upstairs to all 100 graduates. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Reyes and Mr. Wesson. An impressive group of people, and so pleased that you recognize them today. For our last presentation, I'd like to acknowledge Councilmember Tony Cardenas.
Good morning. It gives me great pleasure to recognize the LA Bridges One program.
If we could ask everyone who's leaving the chambers to continue with the presentation quietly.
And the Community Development Department. This wasn't my good idea. This was Councilmember Bill Rosenthal's idea, but I have the honor and the privilege of presenting this presentation to the LA Bridges program and CDD. And today we have over 150 youth in attendance who are part of this program. So at this time, I'd like to invite the members of the Community Development Department, Richard Benbow, the General Manager, Robert Sines, Assistant General Manager, and John Chavez, Director of LA Bridges, and also Anthony Ephraim, LA Bridges Senior Project Coordinator, to come join me at the podium here. LA Bridges has been a formal program with the city since 1997. The reason why I say formal program, because the city of Los Angeles has been involved in intervention and prevention for decades now. But it's good to see that the city of Los Angeles has formalized much of our activity through the Bridges One program. And also, this is a program that is involved in our schools, community-based organizations, various departments within the city and the county, collaborating together to make sure that we get our youth to move in the right direction and to actually live up to their potential. These activities include structured after-school programs such as tutoring and homework assistance, one-on-one services for the most at-risk youth and their families, which include counseling, mentoring, parenting classes, and anger management training. And also organized after-school activities such as sports and recreation activities, arts programs, and field trips. These are all the kinds of things that every one of our constituents say that our children need, and they want us to invest their tax dollars in. As we're very well aware, many school districts have stripped away their extracurricular activities. They've stripped away art. They've stripped away music in the schools. And that's one of the reasons why the LA Bridges One program is so critical in this environment. In some ways, it's getting tougher for our children to say yes to something and to say no to the wrong things. It's LA Bridges that is actually allowing these young people to explore and to expand themselves and to participate in activities that are positive and good for them and good for the community. So at this time, I'd like to invite the General Manager, Richard Benbow, to come up and say a few words and describe the program. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Indeed, it is a pleasure this morning to stand before you to celebrate the culmination of the LA Bridges for this year. As most of you know, I'm brand new to the job, but this is a program that I can really get excited about. I would like to thank the council for supporting the program. I'd like to thank the participants, the leaders, and our staff for doing an outstanding job. And indeed, this is a day that we can all be proud of. These are the leaders of our city for tomorrow, and we should support them as much as we can. So once again, thank you and congratulations to our participants.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite the General Manager to invite one of the students to come up and say a few words. You can do it.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, members of the City Council and Mayor's Office. I'd like to present to you Erendira Contreras, who's actually one of the people that benefits from this program and would like to say a few words to you.
Good morning, Councilman and guests. My name is Erendira Contreras. I am 14 years old. I am a future high school student. I am part of the LA Bridges program. Because of this program, I have a job which is preparing me for the future. I have made myself happy by graduating from Luther Burbank Middle School. I have therapy in Hathaway, which means I can talk to someone about problems that I have or may have. All I can say is that this program has helped me a lot. Thanks to Hathaway Sycamore Family Resource Center for helping me to do better in life. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Reyes, who'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Councilman Cardenas. I want to thank Councilman Rosendahl as well. One of the biggest treats I have as a council member is to work with talent, people with heart, folks like Robert Sines and John Chavez, Mr. Benbow, the CDD staff. You're the reasons why we are able to go through the process of having these political engagements, this tension that arises when we start talking about what makes a city work. And from my point of view, what makes a city work is when we can show that our young people can actually have a sense of a future because of the leadership and the management and the dedication shown by the CDD staff, the LA Bridges staff. And so for the young people, congratulations. I want to thank all of you for your hard work and my colleagues again for supporting these kinds of programs. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Once again, this program is flourishing throughout the city of Los Angeles, and hopefully we can find the means and the way to do more. At this time, 5,400 students across 27 middle schools throughout our city are participating in this program. And as this young woman just said a few minutes ago, she said in a prospective manner, when I become a high school student. And that's very important for us to understand. Some young people are not talking like that in this city. Some young people in certain communities are not talking about becoming a student in high school, becoming a student in college. And these are the kinds of programs that are opening up their minds and their hearts to the reality that they belong there, and they will be there, and they will succeed there. So with that, I'd like to give this certificate of recognition, this resolution, to the LA Bridges 1 program, to the people who are participating and also the people who are running the program. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cardenas, for the acknowledgments this morning and for the students who are here with us. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Cardenas, Grohl, Han, Weezer, Labange, Padilla, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Weiss, Wilson, Sign, Garcetti, 11 members present, and a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you. First item of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Reyes moves, Mr. Smith seconds.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Those have been approved.
Madam President, do you wish to go through the agenda this time?
Yes, we will go through the agenda first. Colleagues, call those items special, and then we will also go to public comment. But I think there's one item that is going to be called special that we will take up first. So if you could go through the agenda first.
First items on the agenda, items 1 and 2 are items noticed for public hearing. Item 2, I believe, has a card on it, and the recommendation for council action is to open the hearing and continue the hearing and ordinance to July 21st.
Okay, we do have a public comment card, so we will call that item special for them to speak.
And that would leave before council item number 1. I believe there's only a card on item number 2.
Only on item number 2.
Okay.
The item number 1 is now before us. Madam Clerk, open the roll. Oh, excuse me. It's going to be continued, I'm sorry, till the 21st. Thank you.
Next item is item number 3. That's also a public hearing item, a street vacation in Council District 15. And if there are no protests, the council can instruct the city engineer to proceed.
Okay, there's no protests on that? And we take a vote on that, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam President.
Okay. If we open the roll on item number 3, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Item's been approved. Yes, Mr. Reyes?
Yes, Madam President, I just wanted to acknowledge and give a round of applause to Monica Garcia, who's joined us, our new school board member. Monica, step on up, wave your hand, let her know you're in the house. She's already working hard connecting the school district with City Hall, so thank you for your hard work. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, and I think we're going to actually call her item special today, where we're going to approve her acknowledgement today, being a new school board member, so we'll take that as well. Yes, Madam Clerk, next item.
Next items, Madam President, items 4 through 35 are items for which public hearings have been held. Reports have been submitted on 5 through 9, 29 through 31, and 33. And I believe on 33 there are 2 reports and the recommendations do differ. A motion is required.
Okay. I know, yes. Yes, Ms. Perry? You want to call which item? 33 special. Okay. Yes, Ms.
Yes, I
Hahn.
need to call 29 special because I need to recuse myself, so.
Yes. I think we're going to take the vote right after this, and then we'll have you
Okay.
do. Yes, Mr. Parks?
Could we hold 25 and 27 till next council meeting? We need to do some research on why those issues weren't addressed. And then also, could we have special 32?
Special 32, 25, and 27 be continued to
Next.
Wednesday?
Wednesday?
Okay. 25 and 27, okay. Any other specials, colleagues? If there's no disagreement, we will continue 25 and 27 to Wednesday. And we've called 32, 33, and 29 special. If not, we'll call the roll on the remaining items. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Okay. If we could ask Ms. Hahn to recuse for a minute. We now have before us, Madam Clerk, item number 29. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
10 ayes.
That item has been approved. Ms. Hahn can join us again. Madam Clerk, next items?
Next items, Madam President, are items for which public hearings have not been held, items 36 through 77. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Thank you. Call 46 special, 64 special. I know,
And
Madam Clerk, we have,
President,
yes.
there are cards on 52, 53, 58, and 60.
Those will all be called special. Any other specials, colleagues? If not, Madam Clerk, if you could, Madam Clerk, if we could open the roll on those items, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, if we could, I meant to call item number 19 special, if we could ask that to be reconsidered. Could ask item 19 to be reconsidered. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
That item will be called special. Thank you. Remainder of the items?
That would take council back to the items called special and also public comment.
We do have a special agenda, Madam Clerk, although we do have a card on that, so we'll hold that for the moment. Before we go to public comment, I'd ask item number 46 has been called special by Councilmember Huizar.
Can we take that out of order, Madam President?
We're taking it right now,
We're taking
yes.
it right now. Great, thank you very much. Council members and public, it's really my pleasure today to stand up and congratulate Monica Garcia, the new school board member for the Board of Education of the Los Angeles Unified School District. As many of you know, she was elected this past a few months ago to take the seat that I once occupied on the Board of Education for about 4.5 years. And let me tell you, I am just so thrilled. And I think the victors really of the special election are the children of Los Angeles. She was my chief of staff for 4.5 years. And many people say that describe somebody as their right arm, but really Monica was my right and left arm. She's someone with great ideas, a passion to do the right thing for children. And to be quite honest with you, when I first ran for the Board of Education, many people told me not to. They said the district's a mess, they can't build schools, they can't get anything right. Well, in the few short years that we were there, we did very significant things. I think they're going to change the lives of thousands and thousands of children. We put a plan together to build 160 new schools along with others at the district. But what really mattered for us in terms of really delivering these schools was working in the trenches, those schools that needed the help to be moved forward. For example, in East LA and Boyle Heights, the district was 4 years behind schedule in finding a site to relieve Roosevelt High School, one of the most overcrowded high schools in the United States. Working with parents and community members, once we got there, we found a site. That school's going to open up now in about 2 years. Many other examples that we did like that together, working with Monica. But one of the most significant things that we accomplished was the passage of a resolution to ensure that every student who enters a high school at LAUSD will have access to the A through G curriculum, the college preparatory curriculum. Can you imagine in today's day and age, the 21st century, that depending on where you went to high school in the LA Unified School District, you either had access to these courses or not. These students did not have a choice. beginning in the year 2008, every student will have access to these courses. A lot of that came because of Monica's vision, tenacity, educating me on the issue, moving that issue forward. And Monica, I want to thank you because thousands and thousands of more children will now have access to college preparatory courses. But as many of you know, there's a lot more work to be done. And I stand here to ask you to support Monica and what she's doing at LAUSD. It's a very lonely place for people wanting to do work and move an agenda of educational justice forward. And so we ask you, my colleagues, and others that we continue to support Monica to do the good work at LAUSD and do right by children. Monica, I am so proud of you. I'm proud to call you a friend. I congratulate you, and I thank you for just having a big heart and doing the right thing for our kids. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Huizar, and we are so pleased, Monica, in your election and your swearing in last night, invitation, and so many people there to support you. Would you like to say a few words? I know you have your family with you as well today. And Mr. Reyes, before you speak, Mr. Reyes would like to say a few words.
Well, first, obviously, I jumped the gun earlier. I wasn't aware we were going to be presenting you, so I did want to say thank you for your hard work. I want to congratulate your family. During your campaign, it became obvious that you are a person from the community, for the community, and the fact that you had such a strong base that comes from your family, it says a lot about you. It says about your focus, your intentions for our kids. So congratulations, and look forward to working with you, much like we did when Councilman Huizar was a school board member. So thank you, congratulations.
Council President, council members, it's such an honor to be here. I'm so proud to be the board member representing District 2 at LAUSD in the company of my mother, Guillermina Garcia, and my sisters, Ana Maria and Lilia, and my staff. I have a great team with me. I'm so pleased to follow the agenda of Jose Huizar, who was an exceptional board member, because he believed that if we did our job, then kids will do their jobs. Over this year, we'll celebrate 225 years of Los Angeles, and yesterday we remembered that it was started by families, and we remembered that people matter, and we remembered that LAUSD and LA City share in the service of families. And friends, we have a great opportunity to reinvent public education. My district is not served by the current structure. I need radical reform. I need 100% graduation at every school. And I'm willing to work with anybody who wants to work and talk about the service of young people. Young people need opportunity, need support, need a chance to read and believe, just like all of us. That's what we got. An opportunity to believe that we mattered, an opportunity to get the skills that we can do something. And I'm so proud to be the third Latina in 155 years representing the folks of this city, because we know education is powerful. Education is about people and community, and education is about being sure that we have a great future. So thank you very much. I invite the city in any way possible. Partnerships and pilots. This is what we need. We're going to do great things. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Monica. Congratulations.
Madam President, and just for council's information, the city clerk report has been submitted and distributed to the council members, and a resolution also.
Fabulous. So we get a chance to record that today. Madam Clerk, if you could open the roll on item number 46, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Congratulations. Colleague, we are going to call that item, going to have it go forthwith. We'd like to have a verbal motion to suspend Rule 51 to release the items that have been adopted forthwith, all items, before the end of the council meeting today. 10 votes are required to suspend the rules. And Mr. Smith will so move, and Ms. Son will second. And so all items will suspend the rules to move that forward. Yes, we will take a vote on that. Madam Clerk, open the roll on suspending the rules, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
That item's been approved for suspending the rules to have everything go forthwith today before the end of the council meeting today. Madam Clerk, I believe the next item is to go to a public comment.
Yes, and I believe there is a card from Ben Ives.
Yes. We'd like to just make this announcement again. During a meeting of the Los Angeles City Council, there is a need for civility and expedition in carrying out of public business. When addressing the City Council, please direct your remarks to the council as a whole and refrain from personal, impertinent, abusive, or profane remarks during your presentation. We will have a 15-minute public comment period. We will abide by that 15 minutes today. So I would ask anyone who is speaking to recognize that there are other individuals who have put in cards. We will read anyone's name who was not able to speak today if we do reach that 15 minutes. I'd like to first go to Bruce Darien, who is in Van Nuys.
Good morning, Council and President Gruhl. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'm here to discuss the relationship of the Challenger disaster back in 1986 and how it is linked with the Malibu Pier and the surrounding crimes revolving around that and the corruption and cover-up of that. 20 years ago, scientist Boaz Joly fought to keep the Challenger grounded. The night before it was launched. With the Challenger, or with the Discovery being scheduled to launch in the next few days, it's important that the public realize that a whistleblower came forward, a scientist, very knowledgeable, knew that the Challenger could or would blow upon liftoff because of the specifications that were involved, the seals that were defective from before. They had 13 prior blowouts of these seals, and they had knowledge that these seals were defective and that they were well below the specification of launching at 28 degrees. Morton Thiel, in certifying to the government that it was okay to launch the spaceship, completely disregarded what was before them. And this has happened at the Malibu Pier. The federal, state, county, and city governments have completely disregarded what is before them. Those contracts and the work is null and void.
Excuse me, sir.
People are being, yes.
Could you confine your comments to matters that are within the jurisdiction of the City of Los Angeles?
Absolutely. Mr. City Attorney, in fact, Mr. Zev Yaroslavsky came to your aid in a resort to diffusing the county's liability and fraud.
Thank you, Mr. Darien. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll now go to public comment here. We will have a minute for each of the speakers. Again, it will be a total of 15 minutes. I'll call your names if you would please come up to the speakers there to the microphone. Melrose Larry Green, Alma Soto, Ahmed Butler.
I want to talk about what's a major epidemic in the city of LA, the way people are driving in this city. And I want especially Councilman Smith and Parks to listen because of your reserve officer and your former chief of the LAPD. I see people going through red lights all the time. I see people burning through stop signs in the Hollywood area with abandon at night all the time. After the hours of 11 o'clock until about 6 in the morning, it's a free-for-all on the roads in the city of LA. I don't know that much about the LAPD, but I think there should be a centralization of functions so that you don't just have a traffic division handling the problems. I think that we need more reserve officers, maybe a volunteer program, and people need to know that the LAPD is out there enforcing speeding. I see people going 65 miles an hour at 5 o'clock in the morning on Melrose, Beverly, Santa Monica, Sunset Boulevard. I only have 8 seconds left. I want to congratulate Mayor Villaraigosa on his one-year anniversary. Of all the things I've done in my life, I'm most proud of helping his election. Thank you. Have a great 4th of July.
Thank you. To Ms. Soto.
The extensive use of police and sheriff's personnel and equipment, including fuel-guzzling helicopters, to evict the South Central farmers was a gross misuse of city funds. For 8 hours, more than 50 elements of the LAPD, complete with cars and buses, did the bidding for one person, Ralph Horowitz. It remains a puzzle that the mayor and the city council of the city of Los Angeles would dedicate so many police elements and their equipment to evict non-violent protesters in an area where the residents suffer the greatest number of homicides in the entire city. More than 725 homicides were committed in South LA between 2003 and 2006, not one of them in or near the South Central Farm. It is hard to believe that the city would squander police resources and taxpayer money at the behest of one single person, resources that could be used to address the more serious problems.
Thank you. Ahmed Butler will be followed by Manuel Ruiz.
No farmers, no food. It's a simple truth passed on to me this morning by one of the campesinos at the South Central Farm. A basic fact that has been long forgotten in this age of industry and technology. Without those who work the land, we will not be able to reap the benefits that come from it. Farming is necessary for the survival of all mankind, not just the farmers in South Central. The whole grains that went into your toast, the corn that was flaked into your cereal, and the oranges that were juiced, all planted and nurtured and harvested by farmers. It's hard for me to understand why this council which is so indebted to the farmers and farm workers, would treat the South Central farmers with such lack of respect, knowing how vital it is to have the basic nutritious needs. How is it that we've forgotten about the hard work and dedication that it takes to reap what you sow? No farmers, no food is a matter of fact, and that should not be taken for granted. The South Central Farm will live on as a monument to that very point.
Thank you. Mr. Ruiz, Manuel Ruiz. Manuel Ruiz.
Hello, today I come today to sincerely ask you, to implore you, the City Council, to join us in helping save the South Central Farm. In a time today when low-income housing and green space is becoming scarce, we need to make or build more green space and not destroy existing ones. Community gardens offer many benefits. They provide a source of fresh and healthy food, they promote physical exercise, and they're also community gathering places. We still have an opportunity to save the largest community urban farm in the United States. And again, I implore you, the City Council, to help us find a solution where the community can keep the South Central Farm alive permanently, and to ensure that what happened on June 13 doesn't happen to other community gardens around Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Duke Russell. Mr. Duke Russell.
President Gruhl and members of the City Council, this may be the most important speech you will ever hear. And I'm telling you this because of the future of the education in public colleges for your thousands of constituents. I gave you information today regarding a press release and also a speech that I made last week. I am giving the same information to the mayor. I'm asking the mayor and I'm asking you to call an emergency meeting to contact the president of Los Angeles City College and also the Board of Trustees that hired him. I'll read you the press release. Hollywood, June 30th, 2006, save the basketball gym at Los Angeles City College. Jews became my lifelong friends when we played basketball together at Hollywood High School during Hitler's ban on sports between Jews and Germans. Last week, I was not able to speak. I couldn't hear because of all the noise. I request one more minute.
Thank you,
for the city's
Mr.
future.
Russell. My apologies. We will have to go to the next speaker. But we look forward to seeing your information that you have today. It's been distributed to everyone. We all have it in written form. So if I could, I'd ask Mr. Eric Carlini to be our next speaker.
I wanted to delegate my time to Augie.
Okay, what we're doing is it's still only 15 minutes, so you can't delegate, but she can have 1 minute. You want to give her name?
Right here. 1 minute.
South Central
Could
Farm
you please give us your name for the record, please?
Augie Jepson. South Central Farm is a community issue, and its universal nature is what makes the land so unique. We've come together this morning as you ask us to unite under one roof. However, the failure for all of us to support the South Central Farm has forced a divide amongst this community. Solidarity is not a one-sided relationship. The current administration has greatly emphasized the importance of national security, keeping the country safe. But in my 21 years of life, I've never witnessed such doubt, frustration, and sadness among my community. I've failed to find security when the health of 350 families is so outrageously threatened. What faith are we instilling in our children when we replace a nutritious meal with an empty plate, so Walmart, the 17th largest economy in the world, can build warehouses over their families' lives? Let us not forget how much LA needs this farm. Let us not forget to be thankful to the farmers who've spent years harvesting and protecting the land. They have brought social, environmental, and economic security to us.
Thank you very much. Jose Nicholas. Jose Nicholas. Jose Nicholas. Valentin Diaz. If we could have someone come, the timer is going. So next speaker from Farmers, South Central Farmers.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Mi nombre es Josefina Medina y soy miembro de South Central Farmers. Vengo otra vez a recordarles que aquí estamos luchando por espacios verdes.
Good morning. My name is Josefina Medina. I'm here once again to remind you that we are fighting to keep open green space.
Ya que en esta comunidad del Distrito 9 no tenemos lugares donde podemos conseguir comidas orgánicas, más bien dicho, vegetales orgánicos. Nosotros, cuando estábamos dentro del jardín, los podíamos crecer.
Since we don't have open green space, much of it here in District 9, we've been cultivating organic food and vegetables, and we were able to continue cultivating it at that green space.
Es la razón que les venimos a pedir que nos ayuden, porque ahí en 41 y Alameda cayó un huracán como Katrina.
And that's the reason why we're here asking your assistance, because there, at 41st and Alameda, a big hurricane fell upon us like that one at Katrina.
Y es triste para nosotros, de como pasó allá, a los pobres no nos dan la ayuda que necesitamos.
And it's very sad to see that us, poor people, the way it happened over there, we are not getting the assistance that we need.
No cierren los ojos. Ayúdenos a salvarlo y a curar nuestras heridas que están sangrando. Gracias.
Please don't get blinded. Help us heal, and help us also heal the wounds that are bleeding. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Mi nombre es Valentín Díaz. Pertenezco a los campesinos de South Central 41 y Alameda. Yo soy un ciudadano que estoy aquí desde el 72. Perdón por la interrupción. No he tenido queja con las autoridades. No he tenido tacha de ninguna. Yo he pedido.
Hello, my name is Valentin Diaz. I'm here with South Central Farmers on 41st and Alameda. I'm a citizen. I've been around since 1972. I don't have any complaints with the authorities, and I've never had a bad record.
Yo les he pedido al presidente, a los concejales, ayuda, y hasta ahorita no he visto ni una. Yo soy un ciudadano que no tengo motivo, o no he dado motivo para estar aquí.
We have asked for help to the president and to the council people, and to date we haven't received any. I'm a citizen that has really no reason or motive to be here, but I am here.
A hoy les pido más respeto para todos nuestros compañeros.
Today I'm asking for more respect for all of my colleagues.
Gracias.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Good morning, City Council members, and once again, we present ourselves here at the City Council chambers to ask for your help. As long as I can remember attending these meetings, I always heard from you guys and giving awards to people who are doing good things for their community, and that's what the South Central Farmers have been doing for the past 14 years. And I want to, ask also once again, to step up to the plate and meet to the necessities of this community. I mean, this is a crucial program that benefits the community of South Central and the city of LA as a whole, and this needs to be saved. We've been here, and just to also let you know, we also celebrate a year of encampment in the South Central Farm. Our community has been camping out for the past 1 year, and that's been our determination for preserving this project for the community. And you know what? Jan Perry, I still owe you those pictures from the parks, all right? So I think I'll bring them probably Tuesday next week, so all right? So you guys could see how in need of green space we are in South Central. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Just a little over
Just give your name for the record.
My name is Dele Aileme. Just over 2 weeks ago today, the largest urban farm in the United States came under attack. In a district, the Ninth District, which is one of the most deprived districts in Los Angeles, an area that is packed full of ghettos, homelessness. The South Central Farm was perhaps the only area of oasis, the only green oasis in this district, and that is what came under invasion and attack on that day, on the 13th of June, a day that we shall never forget. For the members of the City Council, as you prepare to go on your long vacation, I want you to see the faces of the children who used to come to that farm. That was the only place of peace that they knew, the only safe area where they came to play. That is what you have taken away from them. On Tuesday this week, a 9-year-old girl came to address you, and only a few of you were listening while she was speaking. We shall do everything to save the South Central Farm, and we shall overcome.
Thank you. Next speaker. Next and final speaker from South Central Farmers. Please go ahead. She'll be able to catch up.
Muy buenos días. Mi nombre es José Nicolás y vengo representando a los campesinos del sur centro. Y por mi parte yo le pido a la señora Perry que si tiene un poquito de educación y nos pone atención cuando le estamos hablando aquí.
Good morning, my name is Jose Nicolas, and I'm here representing the South Central Farmers. I would like to ask Ms. Perry to please have a little respect and pay attention to us when we're speaking. Thank you.
Again, we ask you, if we can, we ask to direct your comments to the entire City Council.
Y este día les vengo a seguir recordando que lo que se hizo con este lugar no tiene nombre. Y decirles a la señora Perry y al señor Villarraigosa que quisiera que fueran uno de estos días para que miren su obra.
I'm here once again today to continue asking you and reminding you that what you have done at this place has no name. And also to tell Ms. Perry and Mr. Villarraigosa that if they wish, they should come and visit one of these days the farm and to take a second look at what they have done.
A ver si sienten remordimiento de conciencia, si es que tienen, ya que a estas personas no lo que les interesa es el puro dinero.
And see if they feel bad because of what they've done consciously, because all these people care about is economic gain, money.
A ellos no les importamos nosotros los campesinos, la gente pobre. Ellos lo que quieren es seguir recaudando dinero para sus bolsillos.
They don't care about us, poor people, the farmers. What they really are interested in is to continue getting more money for their own interest.
Y decirles a todos ustedes, señores concejales, que quisiera que reflexionaran unos segundos y se pusieran a pensar que lo que pedimos es algo justo, que no les estamos haciendo daño a nadie.
Thank you very much. You want to translate? That'll be the end of the remarks.
We want to tell all of you council people that we want is for you to reflect a few seconds and to also think about what you're doing and put yourself in our shoes. We only ask for something just. We're not harming anybody.
Thank you. And
Okay, gracias.
we will call the following names of individuals who are here. Jose Nicolas, Theo Delgado, Ramiro Arias, Lucila Delgado, Elisa Avina, Maria Avina, Ryan Johnson, Xochitl Lujan, Gonzalo Gomez, Federico Vargas, Vicky Hernandez, Sylvia Lynn Hawkins, Michael Hunt, Matt Dowd, and Lynn Hodgkins. Thank you. Madam Clerk, the public comment period for the regular meeting has been closed. If we could please go to the special meeting, colleagues. We're going to go to those items. If we could open the roll or call the roll for that meeting, please.
Cardenas, Gruel, Han, Weezer, Labange, Padilla, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Weiss, Westenstein, Garcetti, 11 members present and a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you. First order of business.
The items before council on the special meeting, items 1 through 4, are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Colleagues, I do have 2 cards on public comment. It did not indicate, it said for the special meeting, an item, Irene Alanis and Ricardo Alanis. Which item was that? Item, I'm sorry, we can't. Could you come up, just let us know which item number that was, ma'am? Yeah, for some reason, it did not have the item number. If you could just tell us which item it is, ma'am? Item 2. Item 2, okay. We will call item 2 special with the cards on that item. It's a special meeting.
Special meeting, yes.
Yes. 2, and we haven't gotten to that item yet, but we are going to. We just couldn't, it didn't have a number on it. So when we get to item 2, we will call your name again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then that would leave before council 1, 3, and 4.
Okay. And Madam Clerk, call the roll on items 1, 3, and 4 on the special agenda. Close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Those items have been approved.
And Madam President, while you're in the special meeting, do you wish to take up item number 2 at this time?
Yes, we will take item number 2 quickly on this. If we could have those public speaker cards, Irene Alanis and Ricardo Alanis. We'll have them speak first, the public comment, and then we'll have the officers and Ms. Hahn. Please.
Thank you. Just a moment. I just want to get our colleagues and the viewing public to understand what this item is about. Colleagues, I introduced this item because the 4th of July is coming up, and I don't know about the rest of your districts, but my district looks like Atlanta burning when it happens. And I have more complaints in my council office before 4th of July and after 4th of July, almost more than any other time of the year, and almost about more than any other incident in our jurisdiction. Illegal fireworks are a problem. We have neighbors that complain not only about the noise, but about the potential fire hazard of these fireworks being shot from people's backyards and in the front streets. They are illegal in the city of Los Angeles. And what I wanted to have happen, I really wanted this item to be heard earlier, but that was not the case, because what I wanted to hear was what LAPD was doing, not only on the 4th of July, but way in advance. In terms of meeting with neighborhood councils, meeting with block clubs, really reminding people that they were illegal. Hopefully when we issue permits for block parties, if they had incidents in the past, that we wouldn't issue them that permit for a block party if they were engaged in illegal fireworks the year before. So I'll say a few things later when we have our presentation, but I just want everybody who's watching this on Channel 35 to know that we are going to address the problem this year, and hopefully it won't lead to, the least thing is just annoying and noise. The worst thing is the young children who end up in the emergency room on 4th of July because they've been involved in handling illegal fireworks. So I just wanted to set this up.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hahn. We'll go to
City Council, Mr. President. This is an issue that should have been taken care of a long time. We're living in a time right now of, where there's terrorists and fireworks are, it's a bad thing, not only for our children, but most important, it's not so much the children, but it's the adults that are buy the fireworks for the children, and we have a problem there. We have children that are ending up in the emergency, but it's also used as a diversion. Fireworks are thrown during this particular time, and oh, it's fireworks, and over here they're shooting. This is happening over here in my community. Most of you city councilmen live in your districts, but you always live in the best part of your district. So you're not, I don't know if you're really in tune or you get all the vibes back from your community, but it's something that is just, we have public so that the community can attend fireworks shows, so we can eliminate this thing of having children use fireworks in our city. Thank you very much. Oh, one more thing, very important. The fine must be set at a minimum. You cannot have a fine and then the judge decides to, $1,000 fine, decides to give the fella a $25 fine. The fine must be set at $1,000 or more. I have spoken to judges and they wanted to put it up to $2,000. But whatever can be done, it's very important that you find a minimum on the fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning or good afternoon, council members. I have a question. This is a comment. Am I going to be able to speak when the item comes on again?
No, this is your time to speak at this time.
Oh, this is the only time to speak. We have had a firework coalition back in the year 2003, and we had the police department, the fire chief, Councilman Reyes' office, our council person then, that is our mayor now, they all declined in joining our meeting. The meeting that we held, the bomb squad was there, the chief of fire department was there, and it never came to city council when we addressed it. Fireworks are illegal, and I believe the fine has been $25. Our police officers are overworked. We do not have sufficient police officers, so I cannot blame them for enforcing or not enforcing the law. Dodger Stadium, the Rose Bowl, is a very nice place to have an exhibition for fireworks, but as you know, a lot of our people in our community, they're very low income and they can't afford to pay the price to go in. In the past, when my children were younger, now they're 50 and 40 years of age, we had firework exhibition in our parks. The bomb squad mentioned to us that it costs something like $100,000, I believe, $100,000 to go get these fireworks. The police cannot pick them up, send them to another site, and keep them there forever. Now, that $100,000 could be used to have this.
If I could ask you to conclude.
Okay. One last thing that is very important. As a true team player is a problem solver. When you make up excuses, you don't solve the problem. We become part of the problem, not the solution. I'm very patriotic, but I want safety. And let's not forget 9/11. It's in our heart. I want to thank Councilwoman Han.
Thank you very much.
Especially working with us to get our goal in. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Our last speaker, Matt Dowd.
Thank you. Good morning. I just want to register my support for this proposal. Illegal fireworks, they're they're not only a hazard to humans and they're a liability, they're a massive liability, but I've seen Councilman Herb Weston give away little pet cats, pussy cats, dogs. They're the victims, really, of fireworks. It's the noise. For all those animals, I'm a pet owner, there's a lot of us out there. And, you know, furthermore, not only control the illegal fireworks that are out there, but, you know, when there's official holidays like the 4th of July, I believe the city departments should get together and have one centralized thing where there's the least effect on people in the community, where people who want to go to a fireworks show can have it. But having them all over the place, you know, it probably encourages people when they see those ones to go out and get some of their own. The remaining 50 seconds, I'd like to yield my time.
We're not yielding time. So
I can't yield it?
No,
Why is that's part
we're
of
not
the
yielding time. You need to
resolution?
we indicated this, you're not yielding time.
Okay, is there a rule for
No,
that?
there was no card that was submitted by
Yeah, but if
Mr.
he's
Hunt
yield-
on this item.
But if he's yielding his time
So
to me.
no card submitted. I'd like to ask Ms. Wyatt, please, to come to the table.
I'll take the balance of the 30 seconds then. And I'd also like to point out that as far as this restriction on tie, Eric Garcetti's always been happy to provide cards, and I'd also like to mention that during my public comment, I'd respect that people wouldn't interrupt me who aren't in the chair, as Ms. Gruhl, you were guilty of that one the other day, throwing questions at me from over here in a chair about some address where there was a development proposal. I think you should address everything to the chair. Thank you.
Yes, and just so we make it very clear, the council has the option of allowing people to yield their time. It is not a rule in the city council. And just also, the issue that we were talking about the other day, specific in the city council, was something in my district, and this is not a joke in the city council. It's a very serious issue, and I wanted to make sure that you actually knew which area of the city you were talking about, and it was clear you did not know where the project was. I wanted to point that out. I have the right to do that as a city council member. Ms. Wyatt.
Good morning, council members. I'm Nancy Wyatt. I greet you on behalf of the Historic Highland Park Neighborhood Council. I want to express, first of all, my appreciation for my being able to be here today. I accidentally stumbled on the agenda yesterday in the evening on the computer, so I was glad to know about it. I just want to tell you that we've had many, many complaints over the years. I was a part of the task force that met 3 years ago working on this, and so I know what we've been up against, and it's been hard, but now this is a happy day for us. And I want to tell you, these stakeholders are not only complaining about it, but they're fearful because of the gunshots that we also have in our community. Last year, I went up on the top of Mount Washington, and I went up on the hills of Eagle Rock, and I can tell you I went in different directions, and everywhere there was a steady smoke over the whole community. It looked like it was a fog. It was so bad. And it's so overwhelming that you wonder how the fire department could ever keep up with a number of accidents and a number of tragedies. So I just want to express my appreciation also for this agendized item and for making the overtime funding available to provide for extra staffing. When you have something and you can't enforce it, it's almost worse than not having anything at all. And perhaps that's why we haven't had this action. But now it's come to everybody's attention. We're desperate. We are desperate because even like on Mount Washington, the fire chief says, you know what, we have to have an engine up there because we can't get there fast enough. So it is a serious problem all over the city, and we have to get on top of this issue because in many respects, it's a rebelliousness, and we need respect for the law. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'd like to, the public hearing has now been closed. I acknowledge Ms. Hahn again.
Have someone representing LAPD and the fire department. Again, colleagues, I brought this forward because it seems to be a problem every single year. The San Pedro magazine editor wrote about the problem of illegal fireworks. I got an email just recently from a constituent saying the 4th of July is just around the corner and I'm forced to leave my home due to the amount of illegal fireworks being set off. I was on vacation last year, and when I returned, my neighbor told me he sat outside with the hose most of the night in fear of a fire. Again, it's 4th of July, it's America, fireworks are patriotic, and it seems like a harmless activity, but I know for a fact that we have many city-sponsored firework programs. I want to make sure people know for free, certainly down in my neck of the woods at Cabrillo Beach, there's going to be a free fireworks show at the Coliseum. There's a fireworks show, so there's a lot of legal, safe and sane fireworks programs. But we want to know, and I think the public wants to know, we know it's a problem. We know we don't have enough police officers, but we want to know so that we can give some direction to our communities that, in fact, LAPD does have a plan, the fire department is on top of this, and you'll be working very hard to do what you can to combat illegal fireworks.
Charlie Beck, as you know, Councilwoman.
Can you hold my time?
The department does have a plan. It does include outreach to the community in not only the local level, but in the larger level.
Maybe you can elaborate on that.
Sure.
What kind of outreach has LAPD done to?
At the larger level, yesterday the department and the fire department were involved in a press conference talking about gunfire and fireworks and the fact that both organizations would be enforcing the laws vigorously. We do outreach leading up to 4th of July at the local level through the senior lead officers and through the area captains in their community meetings and their contacts. And as you have stated, some areas in the city have a much greater problem than others, and that's why we tailor it at the local level. You know, the 4th of July is always a problem for us as far as deployment goes. So in our planning, we maximize our deployment. All of our Metropolitan Division assets are working. All of our bomb squad assets are working. And in South Bureau in particular, 85% of your officers are working those days. We not only plan for the 4th of July, but this year is compounded because it's a 4-day weekend. So we are planning at max deployment levels through the 4 days, which is really difficult for us to do cost-wise. So
because, like, I know in my neighborhood, fireworks are already being shot off illegally.
Oh, I know.
It sort of started like 2 weeks ago.
And I will be in San Pedro myself on the 4th of July, so I am aware of that. We really need, in my opinion, as a city, to work with the outlying communities that sell fireworks. I mean, that's a huge piece of our issue, is that all you have to do is go into Lakewood or unincorporated areas of the county right outside of your district and everybody else's district, and you get all the fireworks you want, not to mention the ones that come from other countries. So that, you know, that is a huge issue. I know the fire department deals with that. We deal with it not only on the 4th of July, but we try to and have made seizures of fireworks prior to the 4th of July. I'm not aware of any large seizures this year to date. Last year we had a particularly large one. We will continue to do that. We take this very seriously, and all of our 19 areas have plans in place to address this. And I'll let the fire department speak about their efforts.
From the fire department, Assistant Chief Doug Berry, Fire Department's Fire Prevention Bureau. The fire department has a pretty robust public education campaign, and it focuses on making the public aware that they are illegal, that there are repercussions for having and using fireworks, and also trying to direct the public to the public fireworks displays. We did have a press conference yesterday, as it was stated. We have billboards up. We also do radio and TV public service ads, and we have banners up at all the fire stations, as well as signs on all the fire apparatus as they go out. We also have a website that also directs the public to the public displays that are out there, and so that people can be very well aware of what's going on. From a greater level, we've been working on the state level trying to get a statewide ban on fireworks. We haven't quite been successful yet, but we're working from that level as well. As far as our actions, we're going to have brush patrols up in all the brush areas. We're going to have 15 brush patrols up. We've activated the community fire patrols, and all our fire apparatus have been told to just be on the lookout for fireworks use and possession. We're also pre-deploying fire engines in those areas where it's necessary, particularly if it's a high hazard day. And those are some of the things we're working closely with the PD to try to have a collaborative effort on dealing with the problem.
And one thing we've done jointly is the 911 system is set up to dispatch both police and fire to incidents, particularly where there's a high fire probability in brushlands, so that we can assist them with so we can do the enforcement and they can do the harder work of dealing with fires.
Now, when you're called out, or when a constituent calls 911 and says, there's illegal fireworks on my block right now, what's the response?
If it is in progress, we dispatch a unit, and if it is a high fire area, we'll also ask the fire department to respond.
Well, what will you do when you respond?
Well, it depends on what the officers see. If they see a crime in progress, and one of the training parts of this is that today and through Thursday, all the roll calls read off all the applicable laws to fires, and there are many in the health and safety code as well as the municipal code, and we take enforcement action. And we seize fireworks, we make arrests when appropriate.
So you would make an arrest?
Yeah, depending on the activity, sure.
Well, the activity we're talking about is illegal fireworks.
Right, the possession of illegal fireworks or the putting on large public displays of fireworks could lead to an arrest, sure.
Okay, well, I mean, I really appreciate hearing this. I think the public is going to appreciate that you, in fact, both Fire Department and LPD do have a plan in place. So we should have no problem between now and July 4th. Wednesday morning, July 5th, I'll have no constituent complaints that they called LAPD and no one ever came. And so, I mean,
Well,
you've had the outreach, you've had the press conference, so we'll have no problem.
Well, I'm sure that is not what will happen, because I think this is a larger issue than just enforcement and the police and fire department showing up when these things are occurring. I mean, I think this is I think the laws need to be changed, and I think the council knows that.
Well, in the meantime, until the laws change,
We will
fireworks
respond.
are still illegal in the city of Los Angeles. It's a problem, and as you can tell, and I hope the public knows, we're spending a lot of resources that could be used for other things as a result of this. But one of the things I'd like to follow up and have you report back after July 4th, I think we'd like to know how many citations or arrests actually were made per division, and I'd like to see that report following 4th of July. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Parks.
Thank you, Madam President. I was just wondering, you mentioned a list of things, websites and TV. Have we used at all our Channel 35 listing what is viewed as the kinds of things that are authorized or the city is sponsoring? Because I know we just approved a motion for Mr. Zine in his district, and we're going to have one in the Coliseum. Have we used that vehicle at all to notify the public?
Well, I know we've had, excuse me, I know we've had public service and announcements there, but as far as announcing the website, to be quite frank, I'm not certain.
Yeah. I mean, do we have a listing of those that are either funded or supported or centralized locations?
We have a listing on our website, but on Channel 35, I'm not certain.
Okay. Could we check on that? Because that would
Certainly
be
will.
something that we're, as a resource that people may go to, or they may put it on a tagline at the bottom of the screen or some sort to where it's identifying, and hopefully between now and the 4th, we may get some more press, because it is something that, having been at Coliseum last year, standing on the top of the bowl, the whole city lit up after dark. I mean, not just formalized locations such as you can see the Rose Bowl and things like that. Every block looked like it was on fire at one time, and it just was a 360-degree deal. So anything that we can do to publicize it in the city family would also be helpful.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Mr. Cardenas.
I just wanted to acknowledge your efforts in front of the people of Los Angeles. The problem that you're dealing with when it comes to illegal fireworks, unfortunately, is something where people just don't want to abandon bad habits. This is something that when I was a little kid, it was legal to do that way, way back in the day, and then all of a sudden the ordinance came about saying not in the city of Los Angeles, and then I think in the county, some independent cities have continued to go ahead and have fireworks sales and allow it to happen in their city. But my point is, I just wanted to thank you publicly for how difficult it is for you to get people to understand that it isn't harmless. And that's the biggest problem. People think, look, I'm not hurting anybody else. Well, when everything goes okay, luckily, because it's a matter of luck, then yeah, nobody gets physically injured. But one of the things that I think that you're trying to overcome is getting the next generation and the next generation of Angelenos to understand is that was something in the past, good, bad, or otherwise, but let's not participate with that in the future. And unfortunately, too many families take it upon themselves to not teach their kids that we need to abandon that kind of lifestyle. And we need to learn how to go take a little drive, and there's tens of thousands of dollars being invested in these wonderful fireworks shows that everybody can participate in, and yet it's the families that are just refusing to teach their children how to just abandon that lifestyle and just accept that that shouldn't be part of our lifestyle. So I just wanted to thank you for how difficult it is for you to do your work, because it's good people just doing something that isn't good, and good people who don't understand that it is a very dangerous thing, and people could lose their lives, people could lose limbs, young people especially could be affected. A 5-year-old getting burned and having to deal with it physically and mentally for the rest of their life is something that is just not worth it. But it's a difficult job that you have, and I just wanted to say thank you very much for continuing to try to figure out ways to get people to change their lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cardenas. The item is now before us. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
That item's been approved with the report backs as Ms. Hahn had asked for. Thank you. I think that means we can adjourn our special meeting. Ms. Clerk?
Yes, Madam President.
Thank you. As we go back into the regular meeting, I'd like to read colleagues as well to further the orderly process of the meeting in a timely manner and thus avoid the possible loss of a quorum, which is a real issue today. If a member of the public wishes to speak on more than one item, he or she shall be limited his or her remarks for a total of 6 minutes per meeting unless council grants additional time by majority vote. A member of the public may allocate time between items in 1-minute increments up to 2 minutes. Members of the public speaking on a particular item shall constrain, again, the remarks to that item or may be ruled out of order. So we're back in the council, the number 2 that had been called special, in fact, was 2 for the specials agenda meeting, so we can call that item. But Mr. Wesson.
Yeah, Madam President, on item 53, if we could just receive and file that.
Item 53, okay, will be received and filed. Madam Clerk, if we could vote on item number 2 on the regular agenda. Open the roll.
And I'm sorry, Madam President, that's the item that's going to be continued to
See, I did it
July
again,
21st.
didn't I? So we don't need to vote on that. It's continued. Thank you.
And also on item number 53, the city attorney has advised that since there is a card, that card should be heard.
Okay. And we will hear on that item. Okay. The first item actually called special is item number 19, and Ms. Perry's going to take the chair.
All right, Madam Clerk. Okay, the item is ready to go.
Thank you. Colleagues, I just wanted to highlight for you today, we have item number 19 before you. I went to our IGR committee, which asks for a sponsor for legislation regarding 911. Anyone who calls 911 in Los Angeles knows that the dispatch system is in dire need of additional resources. As you may know, that in 2005, the City of LA entered into an agreement with the State of California to transfer all 911 phone calls that are made within the city limits to the City of Los Angeles. And currently, the State of California collects a 911 surcharge for all phone users, wireless and landlines, and allocates that funding to telephone companies, public safety answering points, meaning local agencies, and to the CHP to answer wireless emergency calls. It is estimated that the change of responsibility that is occurring in Los Angeles will mean nearly 10 million additional 911 calls that will be added to our local police dispatchers' workload annually. We feel very much so that we should receive funds that are taken on as a tax to telephone calls be actually sent to the agency that has responsibility for this item. You all may recall that approximately a year ago, when I witnessed a hit-and-run accident and actually followed the individuals who ran from the scene, I called 911. And it took me several minutes to get to 911 because I was transferred from the CHP to the Los Angeles Police Department. I actually got through 311 after I hung up to the captain of the local station in a much quicker way. So we know that the change that is going to occur is critical to the future, I think, in saving lives here in Los Angeles, but we should be allocated the funds necessary to do that and that are being collected by the state. Since the beginning of 2006, the city's 2 dispatch centers have received over 61,000 wireless 911 calls. The city's shares of missed revenue is estimated to be between $12 million and $14 million per year. Thus far, the state has been unsupportive of reimbursing some of the costs of this new burden to our Los Angeles Police Department. We have received about $2.25 million from the state for hardware and software upgrades, but these are only one-time equipment assistance and are not for the ongoing personnel costs that we have in answering those phone calls and operating an enlarged call system. And so I would ask today that you support this motion, that we'll be working with state legislators to find a sponsor because we do think it is critically important now that we have assumed this responsibility and that funds are being allocated to the state for this purpose, and we're now performing the duties, that it is our responsibility to ask for that money to come back to the city of Los Angeles. And so I would ask today, colleagues, that we have an aye vote on that item and get us, help us get a sponsor. Ask some of my colleagues who are up in the legislature, Mr. West and Mr. Cardenas, to help us make sure that happens. So thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gruhl. There's no further speakers in the queue. Madam Clerk, would you please open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Thank you very much. Next item.
Next item, Madam President, is item number 32, and that was called special by Councilmember Parks.
Issues with CDD, so
You've resolved that issue. Okay. Item is now before us. Madam Clerk, open the roll on 32, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Item's been approved. Next item.
Next item is item 33, called special by Councilmember Perry, and there are 2 reports on the file, and the recommendations do differ.
Ms. Perry.
Oh, thank you very much, Madam Chair. My light is not working. I just wanted to say a few words on the important program that employs and educates our young people. I am just thrilled that this program will be taking place at Pueblo del Rio and Avalon Gardens. These are housing developments in the 9th District and serving well over 100 young people. Every young person I talk to in those areas says what they want is a job in their community where they can walk to work, that cannot afford the gas, and really would prefer not to spend 2 and 3 hours on the bus every single day. They just want to walk to work and earn some money to take better care of themselves and to help their families. The beauty of this Learn and Earn program is that it combines education and jobs. The jobs component is a great incentive to show to young people, to encourage them to complete their high school education, and I just wanted to thank CDD and the Housing Authority for implementing this wonderful program.
Thank you. And which report would you like us to adopt? There are 2 reports on the file?
HCED.
HCED, okay. That item is now before us, the HCED report. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
That item's been approved. Thank you. Next item.
Next item, Madam President, is item 52, and that was called special for a card from the public.
Yes, Matt Dowd and Michael Hunt.
Thank you. Let me just preface my comments by saying that this is like a job to me right now, just to come in and poke my nose into city business since the city of Los Angeles saw it fit to come and poke their nose into our business. But this is about the screening of the film Inconvenient Truth. I have seen the movie. I think it's well worth a look. There's a lot of inconvenient truth out there. But primarily it's about CO2 emission and Los Angeles is probably one of the biggest contributors in the world. The fact that the city's so spread out and developed to the point where it's impossible to travel anywhere without a motor vehicle. The fact that the city sees fit to see this is actually an encouraging step, but I did hear from Mr. Cardenas say something about breaking bad habits, and that's what it's all about. Breaking the bad habits that have been learned from generations. But things are different now. Once you see this film, you'll see that if the city doesn't break some of its bad habits, then we're all heading for a point where the coast will be underwater. And that is very real. So if you've got a 10-year plan for Venice or any of the other beaches along the coast with condos and freeways, just make sure you allow for those freeways to be at least 10 or 15 feet above the current ground, or they will be underwater. Thank you.
Mr. Hunt.
Yes, I too agree with Matt about the city and the Greenlands and things like that and the film. I think that it shows where we're directing our interest to and where it should be. Two different things. The interest should be in protecting our Greenlands and making everything happen and safe. I don't know if that's being done. I haven't seen the reports or anything like that, but I would like to see the reports, and I would like to see what City Council and everybody else is doing regarding this issue. And thank you.
Thank you. That item is now before us. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
That item has been approved. Next item.
Next item, Madam President, is item number 53, and that was also called special for cards from the public.
Yes, Mr. Dowd and Mr. Hunt.
Thank you. Great to be back on the record. Yeah, I'm all for this item too. It's a lot of money though, $8,200 to declare the World Cup chair a special event. Just want the people on Channel 35 to know where the $8,200 is going before it's voted on. But I have been following the World Cup, and it's good to see that the city's getting involved in sport. It's a nice break away from the mundane. But I do notice that England is on the bottom half of the draw, and Germany, the host nation, are on the top of the draw. So it's quite foreseeable that Germany could go right through to the final, and if England can knock off Brazil, they'll end up there too. So we'll end up with World War V in Germany when it's England against Germany for the World Cup on German soil. And the reason I say World War V is because what most people don't realize is that Venice Beach is World War IV, and World War III is the War on Terror. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm being short and brief today. I too respect the World Cup and any kind of sports that's going on, and I too respect you guys for the $8,200 that's going to them. I just hope that it's benefiting some kids and helping some really good kids in this cause. And I too support this issue too.
Thank you. And this item has been
If I
received and
may.
filed. Yes, Mr.
I wanted to make sure that the people knew that this event did not occur. We did not spend $8,200.
Thank you, Mr. Wesson. So that item has been received and filed. Do we need to vote on that item, Madam Clerk?
No, Madam President, that can be done by unanimous vote if council wishes.
Okay, thank you. Next item?
Next item is item 58, call special for cards from the public.
Mr. Dowd and Mr. Hunt.
Motion relative declaring block party. I'm all for spending money as long as it's going to maybe troops who are defending the United States of America against terror, people who don't know what this issue is shouldn't probably be talking on the mic and taken up valuable city time. So I'm going to withdraw my comment now at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, open the roll on this item, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Item's been approved. Next item?
Next item is item 60, call special for cards from the public.
Yes, Mr. Dowd.
Okay, now this is one I do want to speak about. Declaring the Mar Vista Farmers Market for a year, a special event, that is my area down there. It's nice that the city can recognize that there are vendors, people in the community who do provide a service in their local community. They've been providing it for a long time. The farmers market, it's an important source of fresh food. You know, you're getting it direct from the guy who grows it, the guy who makes it. It's very important. In this day and age of genetic engineering, it's nice to see some organic people recognized. It happens in some areas, on some subjects, but other farmers who have issues, they're ignored. But that's not the issue here today. It's the city of Los Angeles absorbing $55,000 worth of costs to enable the farmers market to go ahead, and I'm all for that, and I hope you vote accordingly. Thank you. It's good for Venice. Anything that's good for Venice and that area, I'm all in favor of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item is 64, and that was called special by Councilmember Perry.
Ms. Perry, we do have a public comment card from Ms. Hawkins. Can we take that first? Ms. Hawkins.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ms. Sylvie Hawkins. This is for or to all council members. It has any information leading to the information or identification cases that are on a plaintiff or defendant cases. If you are the defendant, it is against the law for them to continue the case if they don't have all money on the books, on the 5th floor in the court building, the date of the case. The defendant can lose the case if they don't show up, or if they are an illegal claimant to win the case. After taking to court myself over 7 cases in Los Angeles, California, 7 cases in Memphis, Tennessee, I won all cases for these reasons mentioned.
Excuse me, Ms. Hawkins. This
From-
is regarding a reward for information leading
Okay.
to the arrest of a suspect, so please confine your comments to the subject matter.
Thank you. After going to court, versing as a plaintiff for landlords, 2 mayors, bishop and first lady, polices, judges, former market, stores.
Thank you, Ms.
LA
Hawkins.
Housing Authority.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hawkins. We need you, I think as we mentioned earlier, to stick to the issue that is before us. So we will now go to Ms. Perry.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I called this item special because I wanted to ask for the community's help in bringing justice to finding the person who murdered 22-year-old Nazareth Castro. On May 14th, this young man was fatally shot near the intersection of 12th and San Pedro. We cannot stand by and let this happen. I'm asking the community to come forward and help us find the person or persons responsible for this murder so we can hold them accountable. They still pose a threat to our community. If you have any information regarding this shooting, please call the 24-hour toll-free number at the Detective Information Desk at 1-877-LAWFUL or 1-877-529-3855, and anonymous calls are welcome.
Thank you very much, Ms. Perry. That item is now before us. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
That item's been approved. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item, Madam President, is a special motion, and that was presented by Councilmember Padilla, seconded by Councilmember Huizar, and the city attorney will speak to the findings.
Yes, Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Madam President. By City Council resolution, the President's Joint Commission on LAUSD governance is scheduled to terminate today. The commission concluded its last meeting at 9 p.m. last night. Immediate action is required to extend the commission for 1 month in order to allow it sufficient time for drafting and printing of its final report. Council must first make findings pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.2 before considering the substantive motion.
Yes, Mr. Padilla.
Vote on the findings.
Vote on the findings? Okay. Madam Clerk, open the roll on the findings, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
That item is now before us. Mr. Padilla.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, just trying to dot our I's and cross our T's here. The commission that we all voted to create just less than or about a year ago, that has been meeting for nearly a year, has concluded their hearings, their meetings, and they're in the final stages now of preparing the formal report that's required of them via the resolution to deliver to this council, to the school board, to the state legislature, and wanted to just take this technical and formal step of extending the life of the commission for 30 days to allow them to wrap that up. But I'm sure we're all watching and waiting eagerly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Padilla. There are no speakers on the queue. Madam Clerk, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the votes.
11 ayes.
That item has been approved. Next item.
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Those will be posted and referred.
There's an excuse on the desk. Councilmember Cardenas requests to be excused Friday, July 14th to leave at noon. For city business, a motion is required.
Ms. Perry moves, Mr. Reyes seconds.
And that clears the desk, Madam President.
Thank you. Colleagues, any announcements today? Announcements? Yes, Ms. Hahn.
Well, just in the spirit of legal fireworks programs, I just want to remind everyone that Tuesday, July 4th, at Cabrillo Beach, from starting at 12 noon to 4 o'clock, Recreation and Parks will offer stage activities, performances, arts, crafts for the entire family. 4:30, my favorite band, they're called 110 South. They will be performing at 4:30 on this. They will perform for 90 minutes on the stage at the south end of the beach. 7:30 will kick off the evening with festivities. At 8 o'clock, John Olguin will strike up the Golden Pops Orchestra Band, which will perform, and then at 9 p.m. we'll begin the fireworks. It's all free. It's safe, legal activity, so bring your family on down to Cabrillo Beach in San Pedro. And I'm sure, Bernard, you're going to talk about the Coliseum one.
Any announcements on this side? Mr. Parks.
Thank you, Madam President. A couple of announcements. Today, a one-day job fair at the Southeast LA Crenshaw Source Center, 3965 South Vermont, for youth 18 to 24. It goes from 10 a.m. to 2. Also, we'd like to remind the community that each Saturday morning between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m., the 8th District Farmers Market will be held in Leimert Park. And then on July 4th, there's 2 events sponsored in the 8th District. One, a jazz program at Leimert Park that goes from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at 43rd and Degnan in Leimert Park at the parking lot. It's the 3rd annual Independence Day Music Festival. And then, as Mrs. Hahn mentioned, the Safe and Sane fireworks show at the LA Coliseum starts at 9. We ask the public to come out and take some time into the park. I'd also like to extend an invitation to any council member that'd like to go. We'll have the Coliseum Commission is hosting a small reception in the press box during the presentation from 9. It's our program.
Thank you. Mr. Huizar.
President, I know there's a number of parades this holiday weekend. I want to invite anyone and all Angelinos to join us on the east side with the El Sereno Bicentennial Committee's 47th Annual Independence Parade, July 1st at 11 a.m. on the corner of Huntington Drive and Eastern. It's open to the public, and As a ground marshal, I'm inviting kids to come fit in my car, and hopefully we fill it up big. I'm going to get a big station wagon. Mr. Weiss, we can have a seat for you if you'd like to join us. Anybody? We recognize the Salute American 4th of July Parade. Ms. Perry and I did that a couple of weeks ago. The event begins here at Fort Moore by Broadway and Cesar Chavez with a 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. pancake breakfast, and 9 o'clock the festivities begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Padilla.
The list of 4th of July celebrations. Want to invite everybody out to the annual 4th of July celebration at Hanson Dam in the northeast San Fernando Valley with day-long entertainment on stage and a tremendous fireworks show just after the sun goes down.
Thank you. Any announcements on this side? Yes, Mr. Reyes.
Yes, on July 2nd, on a Sunday at 8:30 p.m., MacArthur Park. I'd like to invite everyone to the historic lake, and hopefully all the folks are listening. Have a safe weekend and enjoy the fireworks at MacArthur Park. As you know, there's a lot of apartments, a lot of old buildings, and it's not the safest place to be playing with fireworks, so we appreciate your cooperation.
Thank you. Any other announcements on this side? If not, I'd like to just make a few. We have a Valley Village Parade on the 4th of July at 10 o'clock. We also have the Sunland Tahunga Parade at 10 o'clock. And that evening in Studio City at the CBS studios, fireworks and kids events, really a great evening. So we welcome everyone into Hanson Dam, and I know in Mr. Smith's district, the annual Navasterian Games for, I think, thousands of people there, Mr. Smith, in your district. Any adjourning motions today? Yes, okay, if we could ask everyone to please rise. And before they do, I want to just make a special shout out. My son's birthday is on the 4th of July. He will turn 3, and he still thinks the parades and all of the fireworks are for him. So don't tell him any different. Yes, Ms. Hahn.
I'd like us to adjourn our meeting today in the memory, I'm doing this for Tom LaBonge, to adjourn in the memory of Florence Doran, who just recently passed away. She was 92 years old and had been living in Santa Teresita Manor in Duarte for 2 years. She had 9 children, 5 are still living, and she moved to Los Angeles from Dublin in 1956. I think Tom knows one of her sons, Father Brian Dorn, who she survived by.
Thank you. Mr. Parks?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to ask that we adjourn in memory of Benny Ward Alexander, a relative of one of our city employees, Paula Adams, Senior Policy Analyst for the LA World Airport, who passed away on June 24th after a long battle with cancer. He attended schools in New York and Chicago. His formative years worked alongside his stepfather and mother in the grocery business for a number of years. In '67, he moved the family from Chicago to Compton, California, where they resided until 1992. And he worked for Atlantic Richfield for many years before retiring. Funeral service will be held July 1st at Spalding Mortuary on Crenshaw Boulevard. He's survived by a host of relatives. Also, it asks that we adjourn in memory of Alva Roden, a resident of San Jose, California, passed away on June 29th. She's the grandmother of my Economic Development Deputy, David Roberts. And then finally, I'd like to ask that we adjourn in memory of Lawrence Albert, who's my brother-in-law, Bobby Parks' older brother. Was born September 17th, 1927, died June 23rd, 2006. He's a veteran of the U.S. Army, served in Korean War. Mr. Albert had a number of community activities, primarily in St. Louis, Missouri. He basically founded an organization called Aunts and Uncles, which received national recognition, in which it provided free shoes for needy school children. They commented while this was going on that in the city of St. Louis, it actually reduced truancy by 10% because young poor kids had shoes to go to school. That program had additional spin-offs in Los Angeles, and currently it's called the Footprint Program that is currently being done at St. Francis Hospital. He had a number of issues also that are still in place in St. Louis, where youth going to baseball games, also attending events at the mayor's office. He's on a variety of boards, including the Post in South Central Los Angeles, where he was a board member for a number of years. And a couple of years ago, he was primarily involved with successful clothes drive when we had a disaster in Mississippi. He's a businessman. He had a dry cleaning business in both St. Louis and Los Angeles. His viewing will be held 12 noon to 8 p.m. today at Simpson's Mortuary in Inglewood. Funeral service is 11 a.m. Saturday, July 1st at Ward AME.
Thank you. Ms. Perry.
Thank you. I have two adjourning motions. The first is for Jane King, who was born October 19th, 1914 in Bossier City, Louisiana, and she migrated to Los Angeles in the 1940s. She was dedicated to the Stovall Foundation, where she served on the board of directors since 1992. She was one of the first residents of Stovall Terrace residence, and she chaired many committees and made the lives of the seniors at Stovall Terrace resident apartments so much better for her presence. She organized special events, trips, senior day, and they always do have an off-the-hook party for Cinco de Mayo. She gave selfishly of herself to those who were less fortunate. She supported young people and always encouraged them, and her door was always open. She had many interests. She was a world traveler, loved to make jewelry and crochet. She had a zest for life, and she loved her family in Los Angeles, Houston, Ohio, and Russia. She was preceded in death by her husband, George King, and she's survived by her nephews, Lloyd Nelson, Charles White, Lawrence White, and a host of great-grand nieces and nephews. And her warmth will never be forgotten. I'd also like to adjourn today in memory of Edward Celedonio West, who passed away on June 14, 2006, at the age of 46. He was born July 30th, 1959, and he was the youngest of 3 children. His older sister is Cecilia Nunez. Everybody liked him because of his friendly and compassionate personality, and he had charisma. He had an inquisitive nature, and it was apparent even at the age of 8, when one day his grandparents gave him a watch, and he took it apart. He wanted to see how it worked. He did the same thing with a transistor radio and put the parts all over the floor and then attempted to rebuild it. And of course, the watch and the radio never worked again. But when he was in high school, he enrolled in trade tech so he could learn auto mechanics. He became a very good mechanic and used to fix his mother's car. He started working at a very young age to help out with the family finances, and with his after-school jobs, he paid for himself throughout his high school years. He married right out of high school and had a daughter and son, and for the last 20 years, he and his wife, although they have been separated, remained very close friends. He will be remembered as a loving son and brother. He was compassionate, non-judgmental, and very sensitive. And I mentioned that his older sister is Cecilia Nunez, whom many of you know. He is survived by his sisters, his siblings, of course, and his children.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Wesson.
Thank you, Madam President and members. Today I rise to adjourn in the memory of Alicia Sanchez, who was 34 years old, and her daughter Stephanie, who was 4 years old. You may have heard on the news a few days ago we had a very tragic fire in our district, killing these 2 individuals. We had 2 Marines that I guess when you are a Marine, they instill this sense of duty, and these 2 Marines tried to get into the house to save them. They were unsuccessful in that attempt. One of them injured himself, but I do want to acknowledge that we adjourn in the memory of Alicia, and her daughter, Stephanie.
Thank you, Mr. Wesson. Any other adjourning motions? Not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. This meeting is adjourned.